What's going on, fellow ball knowers of the world? I'm Jack, joined today once again with Chase to recap the week 3 of the NFL season and to preview week 4. Before we get into any of that, though, Chase, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
As a Giants fan, I could be doing better for sure. It's tough sledding out here a little bit, but I'm doing fine. I got back from a soccer game tonight at school.
Nice.
They were terrible, and but I get a free point, so it's better for my seating at the football games, which is good. But I don't know. No updates with you. Just playing, living life.
Well, no. Today, you always say good when someone asks you how your day's going, but I had to bring my car into the shop today because my engine was smoking. So,
wow.
Glad it didn't explode. Grateful for that, but it could be a lot worse. So I'd still say it's going great. Mariners swept the Astros, so probably going to be a top 2 seed.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Red Sox to actually lock in their playoff berth, but I guess we're gonna see if they are able to do that at all. But that's not the point of what we're talking about today. We can get into non-football sports later. Let's talk about week 3 of the NFL season. I feel like there's kind of a handful of games here that we could actually skip over, unlike other weeks. So where do you want to start? Was there a game that really stood out to you that you really want to talk on?
Probably the Eagles-Rams game.
Okay. That's a good start.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite game.
Eagles won that one 33-26. The huge comeback win at the end with Jordan Davis blocked kick, returning for a touchdown. But why did this game stand out to you in particular?
Because it really felt like a couple things. One, for like majority of the game, it really felt like the Rams were kind of starting to solidify themselves as one of the favorites in the NFC, which I still think they are. I still think they're one of the best teams in the conference. I still think they'll be competing to make the Super Bowl at the end of the year. But the Eagles, no matter how bad they look for how long in a game, it's like they just have this like stereotypical championship DNA way to stay in it and fight back. And Jalen Hurts, who I'm not really the biggest fan of, and a lot of people think isn't that good, played one of the best games he's played in a really long time. He was for like 2.5 quarters had like 20 something passing yards, and some of that's play calling. They don't really stretch the field that much, but him and AJ Brown were just fantastic the entire second half of that game. So it was really nice to see their offense get going a little bit. Jordan Davis had a monster game. It wasn't just the blocked field goal. He had a couple big run stops that helped him get back in the game. But yeah, that was a great game, and it really kind of saved the morning slate for me, which started off really poorly. It was getting really boring, but that game and the Browns pretty much that really kind of saved that morning slate right at the end.
Yeah, this was a poor morning slate. I felt like people going into it kind of were saying that, and it wasn't great. There were a handful of blowouts. There were I think I'm looking at maybe 5 games that were decided by like 10 points or more. And that's never ideal. That's why a lot of those games, particularly like Commanders, Raiders, I don't really have anything to talk about. Marcus Mariota looked okay. Bengals, Vikings, I don't really have that much to say. I have like some stats and stuff I want to pull up for that one, but Colts, Titans, I have nothing to say. But whatever. Rams, Eagles. I really loved that game, or loved it. I enjoyed that game. It was the Eagles finally, their offense looked like capable and like confident kind of. The first 2 weeks it felt like they were just they were a shell of themselves, really, is the best way to say it, from their Super Bowl team, which is basically still completely intact. And they just did not look good at all. It looked like the Rams were going to win this one for the large part of it. And I saw a lot of people victory lapping on Twitter saying how they were finally, showing that they should have won last year's playoff game or getting revenge or whatever, which stupid, but who cares? Puka looked amazing. I can't believe the Rams lost this game with a Puka performance like that. 11 for 112, but like he was great in this one. And it's like, I mean, Stafford was fine, but it's like that. It's tough to lose that game with him playing that well. AJ Brown finally got going. He had a really good touchdown off the left sideline, but like we had three targets all season before this game, so it's good that he finally, or I guess like catches. But whatever. Devonta Smith looked good too. Saquon was okay, not rushing the ball much, but that's kind of a thing I wanted to bring up. Saquon's rushing this season, I feel like he kind of took a step back, and I think maybe whether it's the O line or like it's probably more of an O line thing than him, but like his yards per carries or yards per attempt, whatever, is way down this year. I feel like receiving has been not as consistent too. Whether it's, I mean, Jalen Hurts hasn't been getting the ball to his guys as consistently this season. I don't know if that's like a game plan thing or if that's just a overall offense taking a step back, like Super Bowl hangover kind of thing. They're just not clicking on all cylinders the way they were last year. And so for them to fourth quarter, really, I mean, second half particularly, but it felt like in that fourth quarter, they really came back and they shut down the Rams. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the the field goal to win the game, the Eagles block it and return it for a touchdown, was just kind of like a cherry on top to a dominant comeback.
Yeah. I think for the Eagles, it's less about Saquon being worse this year, because I don't really think that's the case. I think he's pretty much the same player. He still looks just as explosive, just as good in the open field. I don't really think it's an O-line thing either. I just think their offensive play calling has been very unimaginative and very predictable. You know, they're in their I don't know who their OC is right now. I know they just replaced Kellen Moore, who they had last year, who isn't even like the most amazing offensive coordinator in the world, but it feels like everybody watching, everybody on the other team knows when Saquon's going to get the ball. It's very predictable when they're going to run. And a lot of teams so far have been just stacking the box against them because so far Saquon's really been their only threat to get down the field. And if Jalen Hurts continues to play the way that he played on Sunday, then I think we'll start to see a lot more of those explosive games from Saquon that we were seeing last season. Because going into this game, I mean, Saquon last year completely torched the Rams both times that they played, and multiple explosive runs. Yeah, like pretty much being one of the sole reasons that they beat them both times. And you could tell that the Rams were kind of honed in on him this game. They really didn't want that to happen again. So that is part of it. But I think that's just something the Eagles took advantage of eventually in the second half, made adjustments, and that's why Jalen Hurts was able to have such a great game.
Yeah, it's a huge win for the Eagles because like they're probably going to be battling it out with the Rams for those top seeds. The Niners are up there too. I don't know how realistic it is for them to be 3-0. Same with the Bucs. Like I could see them losing a game here. All their wins have been so close. So this battle between 2-0 teams, like this really could determine the seeding at the end of the year, which will be huge for the NFC. I feel like there's nothing else to really cover from that one. Shout out Blake Corum, finally getting some touches, got a touchdown. That's about it though. We can. I guess from the Vikings game, I did want to say Isaiah Rodgers 99.9 PFF grading, best corner game of all time. That was pretty cool. I think he scored 2 touchdowns, got 2 forced fumbles, got a fumble recovery, got an interception. I think he let up like 1 catch in the whole game. He did pretty well. And I'm seeing people saying, he had an all right game, average game for a New York Giant or something, but he did okay. But Wentz didn't look great. I've seen people saying like maybe he'll take away McCarthy's job. No, I don't know why that shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to do, but I don't think it'll happen. Yeah, he didn't show it to that degree in this game, but I actually, since I'm talking about that game now, let me pull up these stats that I have from that game, in particular about Chase Brown. So going back to 2000. Chase Brown has the fewest rushing yards through 3 games of any running back to see 45-plus carries. He has 47 carries and 93 yards. Yep. and I feel like I had one other one too. Yeah, so Chase Brown is one of 2 running backs to have negative yards before contact after week 3, including Ashton Genty. And like, shockingly, their O-line is that bad. He's got negative 54 yards before contact. Negative 54 through
That's
3
ridiculous.
weeks. That is
That's ridiculous.
insanity. Like, that's craziness. And like, yeah, like, one person pointed out his yards gained on each of his carries, and it's like about as many negative, or maybe like 40% as many negative as positive yards. It's crazy. His longest gain is 11 yards. But yeah, their O line is awful, to put it simply, and that's why we saw Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow get hurt, and I mean Chase Brown at this rate is probably going to get hurt too, because like he's just getting destroyed every play. But
yeah. The only thing I really have to say about this, a lot of people I think are going to start overreacting to Jamar Chase and calling him overrated this season, which, with how much variance there is in the NFL, people just kind of do this stupid thing every year where we call very obviously good players bad, which I'm going to do with a player on the Ravens later. But Jamar Chase is like, I don't know how much we can really expect him to do when like Jake Browning is so clearly horrible, and they have not even if Jake Browning was good, he'd have no time to throw the ball.
Yes,
and their offensive line is just pitiful.
And like, this is the worst opponent they could have gone up against is the Vikings, because they have just such a insanely fierce defense that is just like piercing. Like, they will get to the quarterback easily. They've got I mean, their corner room was probably their biggest worry, and Isaiah Rodgers looked amazing. So they just completely dismantled the Bengals, kind of expectedly so. I thought they were going to win. I didn't know it was going to be 38-point win, but I thought this defense was going to really shut down the Bengals offense, and it did. We can move on from that one though. Let's talk about. We can briefly touch on Jaguars Texans. Not as much as the game as I do just like a few things I want to bring up. CJ Stroud, man, is he cooked? Is he done? Like what?
I don't.
Obviously, rookie season was one of the best rookies we've ever seen ever, and then sophomore season not very good. Third year now, we thought like he could have a bounce back. This O-line is obviously terrible. Like, I'm not gonna deny that for a second, but just throwing the balls over Nico Collins' head, throwing the balls into the dirt. He's not consistent at all from play to play.
Yeah, and that would require me to like really dive into his film and see like what's going on, because I'm like really only watching from this bird box camera view for not even for the entire game. Like, I can't say I've sat here and watched start to finish Texans game this year, so I don't want to make too many takeaways on that, because we did see like in his rookie year, CJ Stroud was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, ridiculously accurate, good in the pocket, able to maneuver the pocket well. Like, even with a bad O-line, he was playing really good football. So, and even last year, I don't think he was playing as bad as he's looked so far from what I've seen. Because I am seeing like he's missing throws that he just hasn't missed before. And I've talked to some Texans fans that are complaining about how he's played this season and considering him one of the problems with their team right now. And, the quarterback's always going to get pointed out when your team starts 0-3, especially a team that's supposed to win the division.
Pretty easily, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I thought going into this year, I thought for sure Texans were winning this division. I saw them not having anybody to really like stop them. And at this point, I think that they might be the least likely team. Probably that's too far. The Titans have 0 chance, but I don't see them winning at all. I see no chance.
It's rough. I think they still could, but starting 0-3 when your division rival is 3-0 is like a very hard hole to dig yourself out of, especially when like it's not like you're like this super talented team that like is just I mean, they are choking these games, but at the same time, like they've shown that they're not really capable of closing a game, and they have this defense that's just getting walked down in the clutch of all these games. They have a quarterback who's supposed to be one of the best in the league who's not performing in the clutch of all these games. So it's hard to kind of put faith in them going forward, but they have been able to keep these games close to some extent. So I'm not going to completely lose faith in them winning the division, but with this big of a hole it's hard to say that they'll be able to do it, especially their schedule is not very easy this year either outside of their division opponents. So
yeah, and even the Colts don't even seem like they're an easy opponent, and if they're losing to the Jaguars in this week, so clearly they're not an easy opponent to them either. Yeah, I don't know. The Texans are a bit of a mess. I don't have too much else to say about them though, because basically they are quite the mess. So we can move along to let's talk about Packers Browns. I feel like that's something we probably should have started out with or close to the start. Oh, before I guess we go too far, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. All right, moving on. Packers Browns. Browns went 13-10. Man, their defense. I was telling my roommate this earlier. It reminds me of the 2 or 3 years ago Browns, where they were the best or close to the best, like just absolute brick wall defense. And then last year they took a year off, like a lot. They weren't as great last year at all. Even the year before that, if I'm remembering correctly, they were not as elite as years prior, but they are right back to it this year. I mean, the Packers offense has looked great through 2 weeks, and they couldn't get a single thing going at all against the Browns. The Browns' rush defense is so good. It stops, like you have zero chance. What did Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs averaged 1.9 yard per carry in this game. Like that. Their rush defense is crazy. I've got a lot of stats to pull up for it, but what did you see from this one?
Yeah, I mean, you let a team that has Myles Garrett on it, and it has Denzel Ward on it. You let them add Mason Graham, and you let them add Carson Schlesinger from UCLA, who I think has been pretty good for them this season so far. He's already looked, and I liked him coming out of UCLA too. So I'm excited to see how he's been playing. They have a ton of depth. There's just a lot of talent, and we saw this in week 1 when they played the Bengals, who even when they had Burrow, or did Burrow get hurt last week? Burrow got hurt against. Yeah, he got hurt last week. So they had Burrow that whole game, and I forget what the crazy stat was, but they they finished with negative yards in one of the quarters in the second half. They barely had any yards the whole second half. This supernova offense that got hyped all off season could barely move the ball against this team. And they looked really good against the Ravens for a majority of the first half of that game too. The Ravens really started running up the score late in that game, and the Ravens are one of the strongest offenses in the league. So I think they're definitely legit. It's gonna go to waste because they don't really have much of an offense going for them. But I think there's a really solid foundation here for the future, and I think honestly the Browns rebuild might not take, or the Browns turnaround might not take as long as some people think it's going to. Especially if Shadur is good, which could be a long shot, but there's gonna have an opportunity to see what they have in their rookie quarterbacks this season, and they're gonna have a lot of opportunities with the ball because this defense is just a complete stonewall. So this game, Jordan Love, horrible throw at the end, can't make that decision. The only way the Browns can score is if you give them the ball at the 5-yard line. So I think this one is definitely a lot more on the Packers than it is the Browns. This Browns triumph, but that's the case with most upsets. So
yeah, I'm seeing. As for the Browns' future, Watson's contract is up after next season, so I don't think that they can cut him yet. They maybe would just eat it going into next year, but I could also see them just keeping him on the team for one last year, so they don't have to $1 bajillion in dead cap. Regardless, though, I think they have a pretty solid future. Offensively, it's obviously there's pieces there. Judkins looks pretty good. What's his name? Dylan Sampson was pretty good in the first 2 weeks, but I think you probably see it. And Cedric Tillman has looked solid this year too. But I think you probably see, and Harold Flannan too. Regardless, I think you probably see one of the rookie quarterbacks starting pretty soon. I hope so, at least, because Flacco hasn't been that good, and they're not winning games because of him at all. They're winning games or winning a game in spite of him. It's just this defense is so incredibly good. I honestly, I wouldn't even hate it if they traded for a quarterback. If they traded for Russ, I think would be a pretty smart move. I don't see Russ wanting to be the backup here for this season, and he could probably go start somewhere like Cincinnati or maybe Cleveland. And so if that was a thing that happened, it would make sense to me. I don't know. I'm sure there's probably some other options of guys that they could sign or trade for. But yeah, just a surprising loss on the Packers, and the Browns showed like a 55-yarder or something to win. Right as like all the other block kicks were happening too, so I thought that they were going to get blocked, but unfortunately didn't.
Yeah, a lot of blocked kicks on
crazy
Sunday.
amount.
Like a ridiculous amount of special teams plays were happening. So
yeah, there were like I think in the 1 p.m. window there were like 3 of them that happened in the same minute or two. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we can move along. I want to talk about the Broncos Chargers a little bit, mainly because Herbert. I mean, you can see in the title of this video, is he the MVP? I think so far through the season, I would say yes. He has been.
I agree.
So on the money, and it's so cool to see because I've liked him since college, and I wanted him to be a Giant so bad. I know he wanted to be a Giant, and so I've always just been a fan of him. But that's not why. But Herbert's awesome. Like he's simply awesome. I want to pull up the stats here. But what did you see from this game that makes you feel like he could be the MVP?
The Sheldon High School Fishing Club president continues to impress. Herbert, I mean, we've all known how ridiculously talented he is for the last however many years he's been in the league. Top of the line, hard to find better arm talent ever, and ridiculous accuracy, which we saw on that throw to Keenan Allen at the end of the game, rolling out left, pressure in his face, laser to the back of the end zone, 20 yards down the field.
Great catch by Keenan Allen and a great pass by Herbert. I said when it happened, I was like, I don't know if that's a better catch or a better pass, which I love those.
And honestly, this game, like Herbert didn't even look that amazing this game, which is credit to the Broncos defense. Sure. It's so hard to get open against this team. And, the Chargers still found a way to get it done. I think the Broncos kind of threw this game away, and it's, mainly on the shoulders of Bo Nix, who just loves overthrowing wide open receivers and touchdowns. That's something he's got to get figured out. But this defense is legit, and Nick Bonito, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Is one of the best edge rushers in the league.
His
I saw
get off is.
Yeah,
I know exactly what
you're talking about. I saw a clip of him just exploding off the line of scrimmage. He beats the left tackle before he can even get out of his stance. You can't teach that type of get off from the line of scrimmage. So he's special. I think he's already arguably one of the 5 best edge rushers in the sport. And this could be if the Broncos could turn it around. I think he's a defensive player of the year candidate type of player. I'm really excited to keep watching him play this season.
It's hard to imagine that it doesn't go to, or not. It's not hard to imagine, but I really want it to go to Myles Garrett because he's having such an incredible season. But it doesn't even matter because they're gonna if they win 3 games, it's gonna be so hard to give it to him. Also, I wanted to shout out Malik Collins. I saw his pass rush win rate from DTs. He's at 25%, which is just insanity. And then also Myles Garrett. To last thing from the Browns game, he I saw the charts his double team percentage versus his performance that he gets when he's not doubled. He is so far up the right side of that where he gets double teamed on 60% of his plays, but he is outperforming everybody by 0.3 or something crazy. Micah Parsons is in the picture, but not even fully.
It's the same thing we used to see with Aaron Donald while he was in his prime. You have these charts where it's oh, look at all these great players, and then up in the top right corner on the top of both stats is Aaron Donald. Myles Garrett, I think, probably not going to win a Defensive Player of the Year again for the rest of his career, which is less to do with the fact that he's not arguably probably the best defensive player in the league. And more so to do with that we've just kind of started taking him for granted as an NFL community. This is one of the best edge rushers in NFL history. A very rare.
Pretty sure the NFL posted that he got to 100 sacks the fastest out of anyone ever, where he's about to.
A very rare mix of skill and size and athleticism. So, I think a deep boy is definitely out of the picture for him with how the Browns are going to be this year, but he's definitely, I'd say, still the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't really have anything else from the Chargers game though. Bo Nix is not good. I think I just saw like his most yards this season was like 200. Like he's not very good.
Yeah. And it's not even the stats with him. It's like you watch him play and he's just leaving so much on the field. And it's like if I was a Broncos fan, I'd have no confidence with him going out for a game. And I feel like this is a very talented Broncos team that's going to go a little bit to waste this season, mainly because of him.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that like this team could actually. I mean, I had them winning like 12 or 13 games this season. I felt really confident in them.
Oh, really?
And
wow.
I thought that I don't know why, because like I was so low on Bo Nix as a prospect, but his rookie season like impressed me, and I thought Sean Payton's going to lead this team. Great defense once again. Like I figured best defense in the league, which I don't even think it's been to that level this season. It's been a great defense, but like they have not been as good as I was hoping. I mean, they allowed 30 to the Colts. Like that's just, you can't do that. But yeah, I kind of believed in him going into this year, and he just has not shown it at all. I don't even know if he's their franchise guy. That's probably
I wouldn't say
not
so.
looking. Yeah, it's not looking good, at least at the moment. Moving on though, like we could talk about Cowboys Bears maybe a little bit later. I don't even necessarily feel like I need to talk about that. CD got hurt. Cowboys offense went to trash. Really cool flea flicker from Caleb Williams to Luther Burden. That was a ridiculous like all-time highlight from Caleb Williams. That like
that was a crazy throw.
You'll be looking at that one.
That was a crazy throw.
He got from like it threw like 60 air yards, and it was in the air for like 2 seconds. Like he threw a bullet 60-yard pass. It's insanity. He is Caleb Williams looked. I mean, Cowboys defense attacks. You know, we've seen it with Russ. We saw it with. No, you didn't even really see it with Hurts too much of the first week, but yeah, it's
before the delay, the Cowboys are not going to stop that game either.
You're not wrong, but it was like Saquon was killing him too, but yeah, they just I don't know, their defense is terrible. Caleb, it's a good week to bounce back. He's been good this season, but this was like probably his best career game. He looked great in this one. But let's move along. I want to talk about Chiefs Giants.
I will say, I did. This is all you because I was watching the Mariners play the Astros when this game was going on. So you go ahead.
That is a good decision. The Giants are not a fun watch in the slightest. They are just a painful offense to watch. So far in the season, they scored 6 points, 37 points, and then 9 points. They just consistently, and somehow there's a touchdown in those 9 points. But shockingly, Graham Gano got hurt before the game even started for, I don't know, the 4th year in a row now, where he gets a quad or a groin or an ankle injury in pregame. And then we are just like without a kicker. And so, we couldn't kick a field goal early on in the game. So we had to go for it on like 4th and 5. And Russell Wilson is literally the worst quarterback to ever touch a football. This guy is not a Hall of Famer. This guy is a certified bum. Never got an MVP vote in his life. Has he ever been an All-Pro? Maybe once. Who cares? This guy's trash. All right. I want to. All right. So as concerning the kicker part, Graham Gano has missed 16 games in the last 2 seasons. Has only made 71% of his kicks in the last 2 seasons. He's 38, and if we had cut him this offseason, where we should have, we would have saved over $3 million, which we only have like $1 million right now. It's so unfortunate seeing like a team like the Ravens just like develop good special teams so well. Like you get rid of Tucker and you draft Tyler Loop, and he's been great so far this season. And like the Giants should do that. Kicking, especially a team like this where we can't score in the red zone, we're the worst red zone team in the NFL. You need a good kicker, and we just don't have that. It really is so annoying. Russ is back to Russ, because I really want to hammer home how bad he is at football. Obviously, you're a Seattle fan, so you have a different perspective on it.
I got to enjoy it while it lasted, but it's over now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even his last year with Seattle was not good. He goes to the Broncos. He was not good. He went to the Steelers. He was good for like 4 weeks until he got tired or whatever, and he couldn't be good anymore. And then now he's on the Giants, and he was like outside of the Cowboys week, which again, Cowboys tax, you let Russell Wilson have his best career game against you. That is so insane to me. But like that is genuinely so crazy how bad the Cowboys defense can be. But
it's pretty.
Like, he's just throwing stuff into the dirt. He's making awful decisions that you saw it on a 1st and goal from within the 10-yard line. He snaps the ball, he throws it out of bounds because he can't find anything. 2nd down, you run a QB draw with Russell Wilson, and it gets like 2 yards because he runs like a 7-second 40 now. And then next 2 plays, he throws it out of bounds again. On 4th down and 4th and goal, he threw the ball out of bounds. Like, I'm not seeing enough outrage about this. That is
way to protect the ball.
Yeah, like, good job not throwing an interception there. But I would rather have him walked up to Chris Jones and handed it to him than just throw it out the back of the end zone. At least try to make a play. Throw it to Malik Neighbors. I don't care if I don't care if every Chiefs fan in the stands is in the end zone guarding him. Throw it his way or throw it anybody's way. Like, you might as well hand the ball off to Dable and give him your helmet. Like, there's no point of even, like, it's so stupid. I hate when people, like, I feel like Phillip Rivers used to do that occasionally, where he would, like, not even, like dumb decision, he would throw it out of bounds, or like maybe like Ryan Tannehill or something. Like, that's like a guy who's starting his first game ever does that kind of mistake, not 15-year vet or whatever you are. Yeah, but it's just him getting benched. I am in favor of it. I know it's like a hot take or whatever, because a lot of Giants fans feel like we needed to let Dart sit more, but I have a couple takes on this. The first one is that Dable and Shane are getting fired soon. So we need to, when a new regime comes in, they're going to want their own quarterback probably. They don't want to get stuck like Daniel Jones and Dable and Shane did the first time, where they pass on Herbert and all them because they have Daniel Jones and he could be something. So getting as much tape on Dart as possible is best case scenario. So we know potentially if he can be the guy or not going into next year. But also, if you sign Russ to be this vet who can get you to wins, and he doesn't get you to wins and he actually is causing you to lose, then starting the rookie, what's the harm? Is he going to be worse than Russ? Probably not. So, like, at least if we're going to lose, we can lose with the rookie and he can get better than lose with the vet who is just holding you back. I don't have too much else. I mean, Scatabo was awesome. I will say that. I was very, very wrong about Scatabo. He had a couple highlight runs. He had a really good touchdown. But I just, like, Tyron Tracy got hurt in this game. He's probably out for a little while. Malik Neighbors was in and out of this one. He didn't get his first target till the 3rd quarter. Wandale wasn't getting targeted at all. Like, Russ just wasn't even looking their way. Man, it was just awful. And then, all right, another thing. How about this? Shane Bowen needs to get fired. Let's put it simply. He needs to get fired ASAP, because he is the worst. Like, I've been watching football for 15 years. This guy is the worst defensive coordinator maybe I've seen in my lifetime. He is terrible. That's not a hyperbole. This guy sucks. He's running Abdul Carter. You got the edge rusher. You drafted 3 overall. He's running him that middle linebacker. He's taking out Bobby Okereke.
The reverse Micah Parsons effect.
Yes. Like, it's actually infuriating, because Abdul Carter is not the worst coverage guy ever. Like, he can hold his own from time to time, but he could, hopefully that's what he's hoped up to be. He's hyped up to be this, like, all-time dude. He could be, Micah Parsons level guy. So if that's the case, then why are we not using him as an edge rusher 95% of the time? He can do some coverage stuff. That's fine. But, like, every play almost that he's running into coverage is insanity to me. Yeah, and then Dexter Lawrence played half the game. That was another cool thing from this one. Like, what are we doing? And then here's another thing. Andrew Thomas was on the snap count. Either you play or you don't. He let up 0 pressure through 25 snaps, and then Dable was like, second half, you don't need to play. Like, if he can let up 0 pressures through 25 snaps, going up against Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, like, shutting them down, then play him the whole game. Yeah. All right, that's all for me.
Do you think the Giants finish as the worst team in the league? Because you guys have one of the hardest schedules.
I think there's a real possibility of it. I'll pull up their schedule now. I think there's a real possibility of it, but I would say no. What I do think is going to end up determining it is week 5. It's a Giants-Saints game. Both teams likely to be 0-4 going into that one.
Oh, dear God.
I would imagine. Giants play the Chargers this week, so I can't imagine the Giants win that one. And then the Saints play the Bills, which I'll give you a sneak peek to the preview. I'm taking the Bills. So Yeah, I don't love either team's odds to get a win in this one. Yeah, so Chargers, Saints, Eagles, at Broncos, at Eagles, Niners, Bears, Packers, Lions, Patriots, Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Cowboys. There could be a Raiders win in there. Maybe if I think Geno will be starting by that point. But like if for some reason he's looked all right the last like week or so. He got a little bit better, but he had a really shaky start. So if for some reason he was playing that bad, maybe that's a win. Patriots probably could be, or not probably, like could be maybe a win. I don't love the chances. It's really Saints, maybe Bears, but I think that they're a better team than us. Like I don't see any wins here. They're really tough defenses, and the Vikings, Packers, the Lions have looked good. The Eagles have been good. Like Chargers, it's such a hard schedule, man. It's crazy. The Niners will be healthy by then. Like it's tough, but yeah, I don't love our chances. I honestly looking at it now, that's like best case scenario winning like 3 or 4 of those games. And even that feels like questionable. I think we could be the worst team pretty easily. What do you think about that?
I think the Saints are probably going to be the worst team for sure, especially after what I just saw happened against us, a team that's like not supposed to be able to really move the ball that well.
Let's talk about that one a little bit, because that was a beat down.
By the way, Jay Harbaugh, like going into this season, I can tell you there's not a Seahawks fan on earth that would have told you he's anything better than the worst special teams coordinator in the history of the league. His special teams just had like the best Seahawks special teams performance I've ever watched with my own 2 eyes. I mean, we're in the first quarter. We've already taken a punt back for the first time since 2015. We're blocking punts. We're taking kicks back to the other side of the field with like 7th string receiver Derek Young. I mean, a ridiculous start to finish performance. The game was over. Like the game was officially over by like halftime, but it felt over 5 minutes into the game.
I was doing something. Oh, sorry to interrupt you here. I was doing something like during that second quarter, and I wasn't even closely watching this one. Like I watched in and out of it like briefly, but it was so quickly. Like first quarter is 20-0 is when the quarter ends. Halftime is 38-6. And so I look at the score, and you guys were up like 21-3 or something. And I was just like, I don't even know. Do I need to tune into this game at all? Like I thought you guys were going to win pretty easily, but a 30-point win that's ridiculous. But what else did you see from this one that made you feel more confident in the Seahawks?
Sam Darnold looks really good, dude. Like he's moving around in the pocket well. He's making good decisions. He had a couple picks against the Steelers last week, which were interesting. But I feel like he overall played well in that game. Week 1, I think the Niners are just a crazy defense, so I'm not holding that against him too much. But this week, and I know it's the Saints, but we were literally mowing through their defense. Like we would get the ball, 5 plays, touchdown every single time in the first half. Like we were playing a high school team. Like there was just he had to throw to Jaxson Smith and Jigba where 3 people are draped on him. Darnold gets smoked in the pocket as he's throwing the ball, and it looked as if he had walked up and handed Jaxson Smith and Jigba the ball right in his chest. Like these are the same types of things, the same types of crazy throws Geno used to make when he was here. I don't know if there's like just something in the air out here that makes quarterbacks play better, but I came into this season thinking Sam Darnold was going to be like a major block in the road for us in being a potential playoff team. And, I'm not going to overreact too much to 3 weeks, especially back-to-back games against the Steelers and Saints defense that have looked pretty shaky so far. But it's impossible for me to ignore the fact that like some of the throws he's making are just like, you can't deny the fact that he's playing really good football, even if he's playing against bad teams right now. The ball's exactly where it needs to be. The ball's on time. He's avoiding sacks. He's doing everything he needs to do to help this offense be a lot more productive than I expected them to be this early in the season. So,
yeah, I completely agree with you. He showed really good pocket movement in that game. He looked like confident. He wasn't. I mean, he didn't get sacked at all, and it showed. Like he knew how to evade pressure and stuff. And I mean, 14 for 18, like he kept the ball safe. Torrey Horton finally scored, which I did see that. That was pretty cool.
Loving that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he could be a decent piece for this offense because Cooper Kupp, I don't know, man. It might be that song might be
honestly
playing.
I don't think Kupp has been that bad. He was really bad week 1, but again, I think the Niners defense just like might be one of the 3 best defenses in the league. I think Saleh is just a ridiculous defensive coordinator, and I think he's just got a ton of really good pieces on that team. But I think Kupp's been fine since then. I think he's just going to be like a solid veteran guy, and he's like our official slot guy now. And Jigba was going last year. He played 72% of his snaps in the slot. He had like 2 catches of 40+ yards all year. This year, he already has 2 40+ yard catches. He's been one of the most explosive receivers in the league. He's playing 28% of his snaps in the slot now. He's mostly playing on the outside. So he's been, honestly, I think so far, I don't think it's crazy to say he's been like one of the 5 best receivers in the league. And, I'm going to need a little bit more before I officially say he is, because there's so much talent at that position right now. And a lot of them are in really bad situations. Like Jamar's in a bad situation right now. Jettis doesn't have a quarterback. You look at a lot of these top receivers and they kind of struggle to produce outside of Puka, really. Mm-hmm. But I think JSN is right up there with some of the best names in the league. And he just continues to improve and impress me. So I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes, especially on the offensive end. I think defensively, we all kind of knew we were going to be great, but I'm really enjoying how the Seahawks have looked so far this year.
Yeah, I think JSN has really impressed me a lot this season. He's looked really great through 3 weeks. He looks like he likely is going to be one of the best receivers or like in the league for a long time. I mean, what is he, 23 at this point, and he's already like putting up, he's going to be a top 5 stats wise receiver probably this season. And I like, especially with an offense that doesn't have as many pass catchers, like you said, Cooper Kupp is playing like your slot veteran guy. He's not going to, he had a good game against the Steelers, but like, he's not going to be consistently getting near 100 yards or anything like that anymore. And Torrey Horton's cool, but like, he's not anything crazy. So it's JSN, like you need him to have good games every week to have a consistent passing offense. And he showed up so far.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why like a ton of Ohio State receivers have come out and said like JSN's the best receiver I've ever played with. I think Garrett Wilson called him the best receiver he's ever seen or something like that. Like he's literally just a perfect football player. He said something along those lines. But like all these guys who have played with him at Ohio State, which is the like place for a wide receiver, is like just outstanding positive things to say. And, he's done nothing but prove the last couple of years. And Mike McDonald, man, I don't know. He's like literally picking up guys off the street and turning them into some of the best performing corners stats wise in the league. Like Darion Kendrick is number 1 in the league in pass rating allowed over the last 2 weeks. And I thought he was going to be like a practice squad guy. So he's like already carving out a role for himself on the team. Josh Jobe has already looked like one of the best corners in the league. And, I think a lot of this is more, I think a lot of this is more so to do with system, but like we had no Witherspoon, no Julian Love, no Eamon Worry again this last week. And our defense didn't skip a beat. So I'm pretty excited about how we're looking. And I think we could really be a playoff team this year, honestly.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that was going to be the case. I really thought Donald was going to struggle behind that O-line, and the fact that you guys are completely proving me wrong is I'm pretty surprised by. But yeah, it's been cool to see because they're a really fun defense to watch. All right, moving along. I did want to. There was a few other things that I forgot to bring up before. I wanted to shout out Tyquan Thornton on the Chiefs. He's been great this season. He's had a couple really big catches for them. He had a ridiculous catch down on the 1 yard line against us. Mahomes is averaging 25.2 air yards when targeting him, which is just ridiculous. Like they needed somebody to extend the field, and it's been Tyquan Thornton, which is very surprising to me. I think that. Oh, and then the Titans. We're not going to talk about that game because it's like they got destroyed. But the two things from that one.
Jones again.
Yeah. The Titans have scored 37 points this season, 30 of them from Joey Sly. And then Daniel Jones has won the same amount of games this season as he did the last 2 years with the Giants. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, love that. All right, moving along to what else from this week? Steelers Patriots I don't care too much about. Jets Bucks was cool. I don't have a ton to say about that one. I mean, another block kick at the end. The Jets had a good comeback in that second half, really the fourth quarter, and then the Jets block a field goal to take the lead, and then Baker goes on another game-winning drive to go get a field goal as time
I
expired.
I think I overthought the NFC South coming into the season. I picked the Panthers to win the NFC South.
As did I.
The Bucs, without their best player, are 3-0. Baker has just continued to look better and better. And Egbuka, man. Egbuka's like the real deal.
Good,
he's going to be one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I really didn't think. I mean, I thought he was going to be good, but like he's having just an all-time rookie season so far. Like this is pretty insane.
Yeah, and it feels like every year Ohio State is just not even just Ohio State. Like it feels like a new insane all-time rookie receiver is coming into the league every year. So, but just for it to be another Ohio State guy is, it's just like no wonder Oregon got smacked in the Rose Bowl. We were playing against the literal dream team. But yeah, I think the Bucs are going to run away with the South at this point. Honestly, they could finish as like a top 3 team in the NFC record-wise because I don't see the Falcons beating them. The Panthers are probably going to struggle to beat them. Saints not beating them, so they could honestly sweep the division this year. It'll be interesting to see. They have pretty hard games on their schedule, so it'll be interesting to see how they do there. But I've been pretty moved by what I've seen from them so far because I really thought they'd struggle without Wirfs to start the season.
Yeah, I'm looking at the schedule. They have the AFC East, so they still have to play the Patriots, Bills, and Dolphins. And then they play who else is it here? The NFC West. So they have to play the Seahawks. They have to play all 4 of them still.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, and then like random games against the Eagles and Lions. That's tough. Yeah, that's not easy. Yeah, but I mean, it's going to get them tested for the playoffs because like they should, like you said, they should sweep their division or come close to it. So they should be able to. We'll see how they hold their own against the playoff hopefuls in the NFC.
Yeah, all I really have left to say for Sunday is Marvin Harrison, man. What's going on over there?
Yeah,
I mean, this guy comes in the league, and I'm thinking we're about to see like Calvin Johnson pretty much. And
I drafted him first round of like my guillotine of his rookie season because I thought he was going to be coming at the gates like fantastic, and he did not show it last year, and he has not shown it at all this season.
Yeah, and what's weird about this season is now he's picked up this drop problem. So I don't know if there's like, you never know if something personal is going on in the player's life that has them distracted from playing. But this is clearly not the Marvin Harrison that we know he's capable of being, that we've seen him capable of being even in the league. Like we've seen him have good games. We've seen him show potential. And, we know he has all the traits. So I'm wondering if something is going on with him outside of the gridiron because he has been disappointing on the field. And, I just hope things are going all right for him outside of it. Cause you could see he got pretty emotional in his post-game press conference. When he was talking about like, he feels like he's letting his team down. So, I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah. He's never been, this bad in probably his life. Like he's never had drop problems, I would assume.
No, his hands were one of his strengths coming into the league.
Yeah, but I meant even saying like before that, like it's like I'm sure that he's never had any struggles like this. So it's for him to be going through this. I mean, he did have a lot of good games last season. Like he had the big game against in week 2 of last year. We had like 140 and a touchdown or close to that, or 2 touchdowns, I think. And he had a couple other good games too. But it's just like this season he has not. What is it so far? His best game was 5 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown in week 1.
Yeah, he played pretty good against the Saints, but since then it's been pretty rough.
Yeah. The drop problems. He seems like he's running lazier routes at times. He feels like he's just kind of disengaged a little bit, which is just strange. I didn't really expect that from him at all. But I think he's so young. He could certainly turn it around. I don't have anything else to say from that one. Shout out to Panthers for demolishing the Falcons. I'll say that, but I don't really have.
I do have one more thing. Can we stop this horrible gimmick where we play prevent defense when the game is on the line and a field goal wins the game? You cannot allow Mac Jones to. It was like watching a player spam A in Madden and he like insta throws it to his tight end on accident. That's literally what Mac Jones was doing all the way down the field. No effort was needed. Like he just instantly throwing the ball the moment he gets the snap. Someone's wide open 10 yards down the field. Like I've never been so frustrated because our game would have been the Seahawks Cardinals game would have been for the lead in the division this Thursday if they had won that game, and I'm just sitting there watching them play 20-yard off coverage on Mac Jones when
it's what the Giants did to the Cowboys, and that's how we lost too. I
all
don't know
you
what
have
teams
to
are doing
do
it. It's happened a lot this year.
send a blitz, man. Like at least lose.
Especially it's
some
Mac
balls.
Jones. Send a blitz. Like he's not going to escape the pocket. He's going to like freak out and throw a pick.
Run press man coverage and send a blitz. Like grow some balls, lose like a man, and get beat over the top. Don't let him dink and dunk his way down the field and beat you with a 30-yard field goal because you were afraid of getting beat over the top. That's not how football was meant to be played.
Yeah,
so
I would much rather lose to a touchdown than a field goal.
That's how the Ravens lost to the Bills too. It pisses me off every single time that I watch it. Just play defense, please. It's like you don't just get to stop because the game's almost over. But that's my gripe.
I completely agree. Are we gonna talk Dolphins Bills? It was so long ago. I don't really have too much to say about that one.
Two is terrible. That's all there is to it.
Tua sucks. Penix sucks too. He's really bad.
I love that.
Yeah, and then Lions Ravens last night. We can touch on that one a little bit.
Yes, this game.
So, I have a few things. Is this where you wanted to bring up you said like you have something to talk about later?
Oh my God, Derrick Henry is going to make me lose my mind if I continue to watch a guy that has fumbled 2 times in like his entire career just hang the ball out there like low-hanging fruit for anybody to come and grab.
Like he's LaShawn McCoy.
In the fourth quarter of a primetime game. Again, and he fumbled against the Browns. He fumbled the game away against the Bills. 3 runs from the 1-yard line, and you're 6'3", 250 and can't punch the ball, and you could have fallen over into the end zone. And then, Lamar just doesn't throw the ball on 4th and goal, fumbles, they lose that possession. Lamar, I don't care what Lamar's stat line looked like. He played horrible on Monday. He took 7 sacks. Like this hero ball gimmick that he has this season where he just like thinks he has to be the superhero on every single play. It's okay to throw the ball away instead of losing 15 yards. I promise you that's better for your team than what you're currently doing. So that's been really, really annoying to watch. But Derrick Henry, and he had another play. It's like 1st and goal. He, instead of throwing the ball away, he throws the ball like directly to the Lions and almost throws a pick at the goal line right after he had just failed to get in from the 1-yard line 3 times at the end of the first half. So Derrick Henry, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's washed. Like, we very clearly can still see that he's capable of breaking off big runs and being a productive player. But like, these mistakes are so uncharacteristic and so annoying and so destructive. And like, the Ravens aren't going anywhere if he continues to play like this.
I agree. I think after that first week, I was thinking like, Lamar was at his peak last year, and I thought maybe he even stepped it up from last year because he looked great. And then week 2, he looked really good against the Browns in week 2. But then this week, it just, I don't know, man. He certainly clearly took a step back in this one. The sacks for starters, like you said, it was just drastic.
7 of them.
I've got two things here. So, I want to commend the Lions. They have bounced back from that Packers loss so greatly. All new coordinators. I think they have like 6 different coaches on the staff from last year, and it doesn't even matter. They just like have bounced back so quickly. But yeah, including sack yardage, Lamar lost 20 yards overall on the ground. That's the worst mark of his entire career. And then this was the first time Lamar had been sacked 5 times in a game since, at least 5 times since 2021, which is just like ridiculous. The Lions were pressuring the Ravens nonstop. They were in the backfield like every play. So I think it's somewhat on the offensive line, but it's also like Lamar was standing in the pocket for so long. I feel like he wasn't using his escapability to max him out. They weren't even spying him like every play, it felt like, but he just, I don't know. As for the fumbles,
not all
Derrick Henry. Sorry, what were you gonna say? I'll get to my point later.
I will say, like, not all of the Lamar sacks were on him. Like, some of them there is just nobody open, and it is like a 3rd and long, and you do have to try to just make a play. But and when I say Lamar played bad, it is like for his standards. Like, that game for the average quarterback is still a great game. But And he had a lot of throws this game that were like still like, wow, this guy's like best player in the league material type of throws. But it's just like some of these hero ball plays are just killing his team.
Yeah, and those are the inconsistencies that, like when you're talking like an MVP level guy, because obviously he's held to a much higher standard than like Russell Wilson or someone like that, or Sam Darnold or whatever. So when he has like a good play, it's obviously like, oh my God, Lamar just had a great play, but it's not as much of like, holy shit, that's crazy, because we're pretty used to it at this point. Yeah, I think the throws like the Mark Andrews touchdown was just a ridiculous throw. It was even better of a catch, but yeah, I don't know how he even fit that into that window. And the receivers are still not amazing. I know they got D-Hop. They finally have a receiver 3 that's like at least somewhat capable, but like the receivers are still not great at getting separation. So it's not. And the Lions defense, like to their credit, was awesome, except for Terrion Arnold, who got like his 500th pass interference. But yeah, their secondary is great, and their pass rush in Hutchinson has looked good this year, and they were getting home pretty often. As I was saying earlier, as for Derrick Henry's fumbles, 3 throughout the season so far, ties his third most of his career, and that happened. His most was 6 in 2022. So he's well on the pace of hitting that. I fully expect him to hit that. And I said last night that I think he's like, he looks a little bit. When I say washed, wash is such an extreme word, so I don't want it to come across like I think he's bad now. But this is like a fumbling problem is something that I feel like is a sign of what's to come, where he's already slowing down to a little bit degree in the sense that he's not getting like 150-yard rushing games every single week, or he's not like before. And I don't want it to seem like I think he's not a top 5 running back anymore, because that's not the case. But from what we saw in years past, and again, I can't expect him to be this good at 35, 32, whatever, but like going into his 30s. But I just think he's showing that this could be a step, like him stepping down a little bit, the consistent fumbling problem, and then him just kind of getting stalwarted a little bit. We saw it last week. He did not have a good week at all against the Browns, which, they've stopped a lot of running backs so far this season. But yeah, I mean, he's different than a lot of the other guys. And then against the Lions, he wasn't particularly amazing either. So yeah, it's just something that I want to keep an eye out, because I think that if he does like slow down throughout the season, or maybe it's next season or something, I feel like this is kind of the sign of what's like could be to come down the line.
I do think next couple seasons we'll probably start to see him kind of phase his way out of the league. That is kind of the age where most running backs start to falter off. Most running backs falter off way before this, actually. But like this age is kind of where you see like these running backs who make it this far usually don't make it any further than this. I do want to say,
go on.
I like as like Lamar being my favorite player. Obviously, my biggest takeaways from the game are all about the Ravens, like how pissed off I am about how poorly they're playing, and like this team that's supposed to have 50 All Pros on it is
it should be the greatest team of all time, whatever. Yeah.
But I do want to give credit to the Lions, dude. They started the season, 100%. And I'm thinking first week, like obviously week 1 overreactions, like always. It's over. The Frank Ragnow loss is going to be too big, and it's not going to be the same team without the coordinators. Their offense looked outstanding. Jared Goff outplayed Lamar this game. I think he made every big throw that he needed to make. I think he was on time and accurate the entire game. Just tons of big throws, tons of amazing plays. Amon-Ra St. Brown played amazing. David Montgomery was insane this game. I thought they played amazing on offense. I thought they played amazing on defense. The Ravens are one of the hardest offenses to stop in the league. Like, even though the Ravens are choking these games, they're still averaging like 36 points a game. And like every single time they touch the ball, you're expecting them to score. So sacking Lamar 7 times and, forcing Henry into a fumble and, forcing Lamar into a fumble after stuffing Derrick Henry 3 times at the goal line. Well, you can say all these things, like point at the Ravens and be like, how are you making all these mistakes? At the same time, the Lions are playing amazing on both sides of the ball the last couple of weeks. So I think they're still a contender in the NFC. I think they're still a threat to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, no doubt. They have rapidly, because I was not high on them going into the season. I thought there was a chance that they could miss the playoffs. Like, I thought that this losing their coordinators was really going to hurt them. I thought Goff was not going to be good this season because he didn't have such a great offensive guru in Ben Johnson. But they just replaced them so seamlessly. Their rushing attack is as good as it's ever been. Gibbs has looked fantastic this season, and Montgomery had a ridiculously good game last night, both scoring 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra has looked really good this season. Jameson Williams, they sort of have gotten to use a little bit more, not to
he's looked good.
Expecting.
I think
he's looked good for sure. Good. Yeah, I was just hoping that they were gonna really start to use him more. But there's just such a loaded offense that it's really, you can't, if Amon-Ra is already your clear number 1, it's hard to get 2, 3, 4. Samuel Laporta, Gibbs is a good pass catcher. It's hard to get everybody involved. Yeah, I think that Zay Flowers really got just blanketed. What, 2 for 13 in this one, 3 targets. That's just craziness to me.
And I think a lot of that might have had to do with the Lions' pressure, because you could see there's a couple plays where if Lamar just had a second more time, Zay Flowers had one at the end of the game where he would have been wide open down the field for a touchdown. But that's credit to the Lions again. Lamar just really didn't have, and even when Lamar did have time, I don't know, it felt like nobody was open. Lamar was just lollygagging his way around the pocket, and nobody was able to get open down the field. So,
yeah. And shout out to Al-Qadim Muhammad, the 2.5 sacks in this one, but also a part of that legendary 2017 Saints draft class with Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore and whoever else was on that team or on that draft. So that's cool. But the pressure was relentless. The Ravens had 0 sacks. The rush defense was not good at all. Marlon Humphrey was kind of getting targeted a little bit. It felt like he was getting picked on. This was just not a good game for the Ravens. It does worry me a little bit for them that they have now lost. The Bills game, I think, was could have gone either way, that I don't read too much into that. I think both teams come out of that one being more confident than they were before. But this one does concern me. The Lions felt like they were in control for most of the game. It felt like, even when it was
pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, it was, tied at halftime, tied after the third quarter. I still felt like the Lions, from what I had seen so far, were going to come away with a win. And they ended up winning this one by 8. I felt like the Ravens, they could have gone for it on 4th and maybe 7, 4th and 5, somewhere around there, with 2.5 minutes left or so, and they decided not to because they had 3 timeouts. I disagree with that call.
I wanted to see them go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw them do the exact same thing with the Bills game, where they lose on that call. Obviously, this is a little different because the Lions were already ahead at this point, but they were ahead by 2 scores, and you thought you could get them to go 3 and out or whatever, and then get the ball back, and then kick an onside, and then get the ball back again and score again. It was more unrealistic.
Yeah, it just felt like every time the Lions touched the ball, there's nothing the Ravens could do to stop them from scoring. They down them at the 2, and they just have this 17-play monster drive down the field. They down them inside the 5 again. Montgomery cracks a 70-yard run. The Lions' offense just felt like a machine this game, and some of that has to do with the Ravens' defense. I think it's just going to be a disappointment this year. I think it's just how it's going to be. I think Mike McDonald really was the key to the defense being the best in the league, and they still have the talent there, but they just don't really have the system for it anymore. So I think it's going to be an ugly year for the Ravens defensively.
The defense is going to end up what's costing them in the playoffs. Where the Ravens have the offensive firepower to match a Bills or a Chiefs or a healthy Chiefs. I think the healthy Chiefs will be in these 30-point competitions as well. Or close to them, but they can compete with a Ravens defense that is allowing everybody to score at free will. But it's hard to win 4 games in a row if you have to put up 30 points. You're going to lose, and that's probably what's going to be their demise when it comes down to it. The long play drives thing that you were mentioning, the Lions open up with a touchdown, 11 plays, open up the second quarter with an 18-play, 98-yard drive, 11 minutes long. They had 7-play, 60 drive in the third. That's whatever. A 7-play, 96-yard drive opening the fourth. A 7-play, 70-yard drive to put the game away. It's
just ridiculous.
They had more drives than the Ravens, and like they made it a real point to hold the ball as long as they can. Dan Campbell said at halftime going into the what's it called? The halftime report that he the goal today was to hold the ball as long as possible, win the time of possession battle, and they did just that. I mean, it was not even close. So
perfectly executed.
Yeah, it's good coaching. Ravens got outclassed in this one. I think they'll be fine though. They'll still win that division, especially with Burrow going.
Yeah, the division's not. I don't think there's anybody that's a threat in the division. I think the Steelers are the most obvious 9-8 team ever. The Browns not going to have enough offensive firepower to keep up with anybody. Bengals lost Burrow, and I don't think they would have kept up with them with Burrow. I still think the Ravens are probably going to be like a 12, 13 win team, but like this game with them and the Chiefs next week is like one of those teams is going to have 3 losses, and these are two teams we're talking about being Super Bowl contenders at the start of the season. One of these teams is going to be starting 1-3, so. You only have so much time to get your shit together for the rest of the year. And I honestly don't think the Ravens defense has a very positive outlook at all.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that one at all. I can quickly pull up their schedule to see what's upcoming for them, and then we can get into the Week 4 preview. So, yeah, they play the Chiefs next week in Kansas City. Texans, Rams, that's going to be a tough one. At Vikings, that'll be about when McCarthy comes back. Their defense is really good. 2 Bengals games. I don't think Burrow's going to be coming back at all this season. And then Week 17, they're at the Packers. So that's another, that could be another close game. It seems like it isn't impossible, but a Rams game is certainly a scary one. And Bears, they play the Bears too. That could, if Caleb Williams is this good, I know it's the Cowboys defense, but he's looked good so far. And if the Ravens are allowing it, if they're going to be a defense similar to the Cowboys, like probably a little bit better, but a similar extent where they let up a lot of points, that could be a shootout as well. But yeah, I have nothing else about Week 3 to touch on. I feel like we covered it pretty well.
That's it for me.
All right, getting into Week 4. All right, let me pull up I want to pull up the odds rather than just the games. So the first one is Cardinals Seahawks Thursday Night Football. Your team, you can take the floor. What are you thinking?
I think we'll win this week. I think, especially since it's such a short week for both teams, and we got to rest a lot more in our game. Our starters didn't have to play the fourth quarter. The Cardinals kind of had this down to the wire game where they're classic NFC West low scoring gritty matchup. I think we'll just be the healthier team coming into this game. I think we'll come out a lot stronger than they do. I just think we're better than the Cardinals, honestly. I know they have a lot of injuries in their secondary right now. That's going to be tough for them as well. This will be a good game, I think, to kind of measure what the Seahawks offense is going to look like this year. The Cardinals aren't really an insane defense either, but they're probably the best defense we've played in the last 3 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue to perform at this high level. And I also think our defense is looking like one of the best in the league. I think Mike McDonald's just the best defensive mind in the sport right now. So I think hopefully we'll have Love back. I don't think Witherspoon's going to play. He still looked like he was limping on Sunday. But, I'm excited to watch it. I think Seahawks will cover whatever the spread is. So
spread is 1.5.
Yeah,
it did open Cardinals 1.5. It's now Seahawks -1.5.
Give me the Seahawks to cover.
Yeah, that's basically a win or like win and cover kind of game. I agree with you, though. I'm taking the Seahawks. I know it's in Arizona, but I still feel like Seattle is the better team. If Marvin Harrison was playing better, I think that would maybe make me want to take the Cardinals. But like if he's been struggling and he hasn't even been playing the best defenses, it just makes me feel like Seattle is going to shut him down the same that he's been doing this season. So, yeah, Kyler hasn't impressed me too much. I think James Conner injury we didn't mention. He's out for the year that was a devastating injury. That was a brutal injury. He's likely to be done for the season. Nick Bosa is going to be done for the season too. We didn't mention that. He with an ACL tear. A lot of injuries this week, but I'll take Seattle. on Thursday night. Moving along, we have our first overseas game, Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. I forget where they're playing. It's like London or something.
I think it's Dublin.
Dublin.
I'm probably saying that wrong. Dublin. Yeah.
All right. Vikings are 2.5-point favorites in this one.
Yeah.
Why? I'm
thinking the Vikings.
I'll take the Vikings. That's a tough one though.
Last time we saw Aaron Rodgers go overseas, things got really ugly. Every single time that I watch one of these games, or every single time they have one of these overseas games, I tell myself the entire week, there's no way I'm getting up that early to watch that game. And then I'm up that early to watch that game. Mm-hmm. So I'll take the Vikings. I think Flores is just, going to be coming at Rodgers the whole game. I don't think the Steelers' offense is that impressive. And I think the Vikings can do enough on the other side of the ball to capitalize on the turnovers they're probably going to create in this game. So I'll take the Vikings to cover.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'm sure. I swear we'll have different picks soon, but yeah, I think Carson Wentz looked good enough to me against the Bengals that I think that he can hold his own against the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers' defense is even particularly God tier anymore. It's still a good defense, but it's not as great as it used to be. I will say though, every game we've seen this season, every team is just running left every play. I mean, it's always kind of been the case with TJ Watt, but Travion Henderson's rushing chart was all left 100%. Kenneth Walker, when the Seahawks played the Steelers, was all left. I forget who they played, Chase Brown or whoever. No, it wasn't. Whoever they played with one, I remember seeing Breece Hall. It was all left too. So yeah, it's interesting. But Jordan Mason's been great so far. I'll take the Vikings. Moving along, Saints versus Buffalo Bills. 15.5-point favorites for the Bills.
This is a tough one. I think I am leaning towards the Bills to win by 30.
You know what? I'll take the Saints to win and cover. No. Bills are winning easily, and they probably cover. I think the Saints are just going to get they did their classic 2-week hot streak. They didn't even win those 2 games, but they just looked decent in those 2 first weeks. I did see a stat that said Rattler is running the most, or the Saints are running the most play action in the league this year. And play action in general has gone up a lot this season across the league. But Rattler is running it a lot because it's very simple. It gives him more time. It gives him more protection. And by the time he actually turns around, his routes are developed. So they're keeping it as simple as they can for him. And he hasn't looked.
I think he
hasn't looked as bad as I was expecting. So there's that. It is shocking to me that Shuck has still not played because I just don't see the reason to start Rattler. But whatever. I'm taking Bills to win and cover. I guess since we already talked about Seattle, why didn't Milroe play?
He did. Yeah. He didn't play, but
yeah,
he was in for a couple snaps.
You guys put in Dart, not Dart. Drew Lock instead. And so I just thought that was strange. I wanted to see Milroe get a couple snaps at the end.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Jalen Milroe might be completely horrible, and that's why we're probably never going to let him throw the ball. And he's he would be an 100th percentile unlikely development story if he became a good NFL quarterback. So he probably will just end up being Taysom Hill. Damn. That's what we're just going to sub him in, and a QB blast is coming. You're just going to have to be able to stop it.
Yeah. All right. Moving along, Chargers 6.5-point favorites in New York versus the Giants. I feel like it's disrespectful to only have it at 6.5.
Yeah, I would take the Chargers to cover that pretty comfortably. I think their defense,
probably
honestly, with how bad their cornerback room has been, I'm really impressed with how Minter has had this defense playing because St. Juice was when he was in Washington, people were talking about this guy he was a dictator, and now we're 3 weeks into the season. He's been playing great the whole year. So, I think Minter has a great defensive scheme, and I think it's going to be really hard for the Giants to break 10 points this game.
Yeah, 100%. I would be. I mean, we'll see how Dart is. If it's Russ, I'm so confident. I would take Chargers minus 13.5, 14.5. I don't really care. I think they would easily win this one by 3 touchdowns. But Dart makes it a little bit more of a question mark where maybe he can perform to that level. I don't think he will. We saw in preseason they like really ran a simple offense for him. It was very college-esque, which is why I didn't like him coming out of college because I felt like he ran a simple offense there too. So that makes me worry that like maybe he doesn't get a playbook down or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know necessarily if that's too much of a concern. I know Jaden Daniels is kind of like an outlier, but like Jaden Daniels had those same kind of concerns coming in. So I don't know necessarily if that's like the end all be all, which I don't think is what you're saying it is. But I think he could still perform fine in more of a college style offense, even if it's at the NFL level.
I think it's possible. It just makes me a little bit worried that he can't like get the intricates down. And with Jaden Daniels, he's also like A tier athlete, like S tier athlete, so he's got more going for him than Dart. But I think it's still like playable for sure. I'm taking the Chargers here though. I don't think the Giants will. It's a tough start for him at first start. Like the Chargers defense is truly fantastic, and losing Najee sucks. But that rushing unit, the running backs look to be good. They had a good week last week. Yeah, I don't know. Chargers easily. All right, moving on. Commanders at Falcons. Commanders 2.5-point favorites here. What are we thinking here?
Is Daniels back this week?
I think he is. I saw something that said he should be.
Honestly,
you could say if he plays or if he doesn't. You can give two different predictions if that's the case.
That's what I was about to say. Honestly, if Daniels doesn't play, I think Mariota is good enough to win games for you. And that's not biased at all. But I honestly think Mariota's played pretty well the last couple of years as a backup. When he gets in, they usually win. He usually plays pretty well when they win. And I just think, dude, the Falcons look like Raheem Morris. I don't know if he makes it to the end of this season.
It feels like honestly, there might be a lot of coaches that get fired this offseason. Like there might be like 5 to 7 amount of coaches, which is going to be more than I feel like sometimes you see like 2 or 3, and this is just a year where a lot of the guys that all got hired together are all about to get fired in that like 3 to 4 year window.
And Penix's accuracy is just very, very inconsistent. He'll have a play where he rips a crosser between two guys, and then he'll have like 4 plays where he misses wide open people on slants or wide open guy on a curl route, whatever it is. He has a very weird throwing motion. He has very awkward mechanics that kind of, I think, are the reason for that inconsistency. And Bijan is really all that they really have going for them offensively. If he doesn't have a super explosive game, it's going to be hard for me to see how they stay in a game with the Commanders, especially if Daniels is playing. So I think I actually would take the Commanders to cover and win, regardless of who's starting. But I'm much more confident if Daniels is in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Mariota had looked pretty good against the Raiders. Again, Raiders defense is good. He did have that crazy run up the right side where he tried to hit a hurdle like he was still in college. That was really fun.
Yeah.
Horribly fumbled. But yeah, like you said, he's been good as a starter, like a spot starter. He's kept the ball safe for the most part, and he's led to wins because he just knows how to manage a game pretty well. And Penix, man, he had one of the worst interceptions, and this is not a hyperbole at all. One of the worst interceptions I've seen. They're just passes in general in my life. The flat route that got pick 6 against the Panthers this week
that was bad.
Was really unbelievably bad. He just like you see the guy guarding the corner guarding the flat so obviously. He's like 3 yards off the running back, and he still just lobs it up to him like he's throwing a balloon at him, and he just like walks up and catches it out of the air and just like walks 5 yards in the end zone. It was a terrible pass.
Yeah, that was that.
Yeah, that was Penix, like he dirt balls a lot of flat routes. He dirt balls slant routes. Like he throws like skipping passes, like it's like skipping a rock. I don't see it with him. I didn't love him coming out of college, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just anti-lefty because there's not many. I liked Tua, but like that was one of the only lefties I've liked in a long time. So
yeah, maybe it's just the aesthetic of it. It just kind of looks weird when you're so like used to watching right-handed quarterbacks. But like his mechanics are horrible. Like when he throws, his body makes the letter C. Like I've never seen a human being.
He throws like his whole body into it. It's a little bit like Tua when he's throwing a deep ball, but like it's like every play when he's throwing any amount of like.
Yeah, it's very awkward, and it's it's something that could be fixed. And I'm not like out on Penix. I think based on like college production and how he played in college, he has the skill set to be a good NFL quarterback, but he has things he has to fix. before that happens. So
yeah, I mean, like talking about Bo Nix, whatever. Like we're low on these guys, but I'm never gonna say this guy could never be good. Like until they retire or it's like year 10 and they haven't shown it at all. I'll always think that somebody can have a late breakout or he could break out in any game. He's still so young into his career that like week 4, this might be just the game where he looks good, or week 5 or whatever. And the Commanders don't have the craziest defense, so it's certainly possible. We can move along though because we both said Commanders covered. Eagles 3.5 favorites versus Tampa Bay. This should be a good game. I mean, Mike Evans did get hurt. He's going to be out for probably about a month or so. So their receiver core is bleak at the moment. I probably take Eagles to win and cover here because I just see them as an overall better team. But Baker's led these opening the closing drives over and over and over again to win games. 3 games in a row now. He could make it.
This is very difficult because I think the Buccaneers have looked really good. You know, they're without their best player still this week. I also think Jalen Carter hasn't really looked good. I see a lot of Eagles fans saying this too. I think Jalen Carter has just looked kind of lazy to open the season.
Skinny Jordan Davis has looked much better, I will say.
Jordan Davis has looked fantastic so far. He's looked a lot quicker. He's looked a lot more engaged.
The weight drop, they brought it up a ton in this past game. I think he said they dropped like 30 pounds or so. It's clear. He looks skinnier and he's playing much more agile. So it's been cool to see him lock in like that.
Something is telling me that the Buccaneers are going to win this game, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the Baker Mayfield voodoo where he's always got a chance to win at the end of the game, but I think this game, I think I'd still take the Eagles to win, but what's the spread? 3.5?
3.5.
I think the Bucs can cover that. I think they can keep it within 3. I think this will be a really close game, and both teams are going to have a chance to win it at the end. I just think the Eagles' offense, when they're calling their plays well, is a lot more sustainable. And if they can get it down to like a 3rd and 4, they're pretty much always going to be able to convert it. So as long as the Eagles are effective on their opening downs, they're a very hard team to stop. And I think they'll be able to pull this one out.
I will say the Eagles win this game. I do feel like okay about that. I could definitely see the Bucs covering, like you said, because 3.5, like that means you have to win by probably a touchdown. I mean, you could win by 4, but like it's less likely. So I could see the Bucs, like the Eagles, taking a game-winning field goal in this one. But I don't know. The Eagles, that game against the Rams, the way they came back, the way their offense finally looked legit. I think it looks to me like more together. The pieces are there really for them to potentially start to go on this run like we saw them do last year. All right, moving along we still have actually a lot of 1 p.m. games left. Jeez. All right, Cleveland Browns versus the Detroit Lions. Lions at home, 8.5-point favorites.
This, I think, will actually be a more entertaining matchup than people think it's going to be. I think I don't think the Browns will be able to get much going offensively. But I think the Lions' run game versus the Browns' run defense is going to be something fun to watch this upcoming week. So I think I'll take the Browns to cover. I think the Lions will win, but I think the Browns will cover the spread.
So one of 2 things is going to happen in this game because this is how the Browns season has gone so far. They'll either hold the elite team to really low scoring, 10 points for the Packers, or they will get their doors blown off of them like the Ravens did, where they will put like 40 up on them. And we're just like having like playground fun against them, it felt like. This won't be like a 10-point win or like 14-point win for the Lions. Like it's going to be 30 or 6, I think. Do I believe in the Browns defense that much? Honestly, I kind of want to say, yeah, their defensive line is just like spectacular. Like Macy Graham has been great for them. Myles Garrett has been really, really good. Malik Collins has been really solid this season. I don't know. I believe in that unit. I'm going to say they cover. There's no way they beat the Lions. So if they beat the Lions and the Packers, man, Browns are going to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. I'll put a bet on it. I mean, at that point, the odds will be too bad for it to be anything worth. But the Browns look good against the Packers. I can see them holding their own a little bit against the Lions. Moving along, Panthers versus New England Patriots. In New England, 5.5-point favorites for the Pats. These are both of my two favorite young quarterbacks in the league right now. Bryce Young, Drake May, both guys I got deep agendas for. It's a tough one for me to pick. Who you taking?
This might be the hardest game for me to pick out of all of them so far. I think
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
could really
because
see
it's so
both sides.
close, I'm going to lean with the home team, but I think the Panthers will cover the spread. I think this will come down to the final drive. But I think the Patriots will win the game. I trust Drake May more than I trust Bryce Young, although I don't think either of them have looked that great so far this year. I think they're both still making a lot of mistakes. Bryce Young especially, I'm still pretty disappointed with how he's played after how well he played at the end of last season. So hopefully he starts to turn that around. But I'll go with the Patriots for this game.
Yeah, Bryce Young didn't look as good against the Falcons as I was hoping, especially for a 30-0 win. You would think that he did better than his stats showed. But it was really a defensive game for the Panthers more than it was offensive, it felt like. And then Patriots, they just made so many mistakes. They fumbled like 5 times. Trayvon Henderson still isn't their starting running back because they love to use Antonio Gibson for some reason. But I hope this week kind of will show them. Yeah, I hope this week shows them like Ramondre and Gibson aren't that good, and Trayvon Henderson is a very good running back. Use him more. I'll take the Panthers to win and cover, though. I don't know. I think that they're gonna this could be some momentum for them coming off that Falcons win. And somebody was saying to me the other day, a Patriots fan that, or today actually, because I posted my power rankings, that I was too low on the Patriots because they should have beat the Steelers besides some fumbles or whatever. But I just those guys who fumbled are still on the team. That's what I'll say. And I think you can just because you lose a game because of blank reason, you still lost the game because of that reason. And unless you cut the guy, that guy is still on the team, and that reason can happen again. And Ramondre Stevenson has a long history of fumbling, so like a game.
Yeah, I don't know how Henderson hasn't become the lead back 100%. For them.
I thought Henderson was gonna have a great season. I bet on his season-long overs. I took him in fantasy leagues. Like I thought he was gonna come out the gates swinging, and they were like, "Oh, week 1, 2 carries." Like it's, I don't know, Vrabel. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I'll take the Panthers to win and cover there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win though, because like you said, Drake May hasn't been amazing, but he hasn't looked that bad, and he looked good last year. He's definitely got some stuff he's got to work on, but that receiver core is not giving him any help at all. Diggs has been so disappointing. I mean, his tight ends are basically his best targets. So, whatever. We can move along. Texans is the next game, the final 1 p.m. game in Houston. 6.5-point favorites for the Texans. Both 0-3. Somebody's losing their O today.
It has to be the Texans and covering. Like, if the Texans lose this game, it is completely it is over.
Yes, it's like mock some quarterbacks getting drafted to the team if they're losing this game, because CJ Stroud must have had a horrible game. There's no way they blow this one.
I actually think the Titans haven't looked like as bad as their stats and their record have said so far. I think Cam Ward has looked pretty solid. I think the receiver they got from Stanford has looked really good. I think he's going to end up being a productive NFL player.
Like Ayamanor,
yeah. I always say his name wrong, so I just call him the guy from Stanford.
I saw somebody. One of the commentators said Io Manor, but I have heard other commentators say Ayamanor. So I don't know. But
I don't know what it is. But I've liked him ever since he just laid complete belt on Colorado on a primetime game a couple of years ago. That was really exciting to watch. So I think the Texans win and cover. I think this is like back against the wall. Like if you guys are going to try to make a push for the playoffs, this is the game right here where you have to kind of rally around your guys and lock in for the rest of the season. And this can kind of be a turning point for you if you can blow out a division rival. So I think this will be a big game for them. I think they'll take it pretty seriously. I think the defense will play great. I think Stroud will look better than he has in previous weeks, even if he's not back to that form we saw a couple of years ago. And I think the Texans will win this game comfortably.
I will say the one thing going for the Titans though is Brian Callahan is giving up play calling duties to their quarterbacks coach, which is kind of interesting because I felt like when he got signed or hired to be their coach, it was like the big perk with him is that he could be a play caller, such a dynamic offensive guy. I mean, he was a part of those Bengals teams that went to the Super Bowl and led the best offense in the league or best passing offense, whatever. Hasn't really shown it yet. I mean, obviously they hope Treylon Burks could have been that guy that like could have been his T Higgins or whatever, and was not that at all. And their offense hasn't been great so far. Pollard has been pretty disappointing. I thought he was going to be better than he was to start the season, or has been. But Cam Ward hasn't been bad, and I will take. Long story short, I'll take the Texans to win and cover. There's no way that they go. If they go 0-4,
it is legitimately over at that point.
Like it's. I don't think D'Amico's his job's on the line this season, but like if they're that bad, like if they win like 4 games this season, there's gonna be talk about it. But moving on, 405, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the San Francisco 49ers, starting Mac Jones still, I believe. Still no Kittle. I think Juwan Jennings is probably gonna miss the game again. Nick Bosa is done for the year. I'm taking San Fran.
I think the Niners are still going to win. Yeah, honestly, I think Saleh's defense is just so well coached. I think he has a really good scheme. I think he's just got a lot of good players. And even without Bosa, they have so much depth on the D-line that I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem against a Jaguars team that hasn't looked good offensively all year. By the way, guess who the pass game coordinator is for the team whose receiver is suddenly starting to suck? It's Shane Waldron.
Shane Waldron, yeah.
Wow, yeah. He went to the Bears. Odunze sucks. He's on the Seahawks. JSN sucks. Now he's with the Jaguars, and Brian Thomas sucks. What a surprise. Yeah. I'll take the Niners. I think Mac Jones can do enough to get them through this game, and I think they have a little bit of voodoo up their sleeves because, all that bad injury luck, they have to get lucky elsewhere. Hopefully McCaffrey doesn't die, though, because he's getting like 50 touches a game.
Yeah, he's getting some of his most touches through 3 weeks of his entire career, and it is worrisome that like they aren't using anybody else really at all, anybody else at all.
Pearsall's looked really good.
Yeah, Pearsall has for sure. I meant running back was. Yeah, Mac Jones has been topping the ball off to him a lot. And Purdy was a bit too. CMC still looks pretty solid. He doesn't look to his peak, but he still looks good. Shane Waldron thing is not surprising. Like I'm so unfortunate, but it's just like I don't know how he still has another job. And I'm taking the Niners. I don't trust the Jags. They haven't looked good. Trevor's looks unconfident. The defense isn't moving me. They're not even using Travis Hunter anymore. Like he doesn't even get to play football. He just sits on the sideline, I guess now. So that's cool.
The guy who's supposed to play snaps on both sides now plays snaps on both sides.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see. I don't know. It's Liam. I don't know if it's a Liam Cohen thing. I don't know if it's their DC or their OC. I'm just confused, concerned, kind of everything. I hope that they figure it out because I really was excited to see him play this season, and he is barely even getting to play.
Yeah.
We can move along, though, to Colts Rams in LA. Rams 3.5-point favorites. This is a good game.
There is literally no way that the Colts continue to win. I refuse to believe that this good of a team will lose to the Colts, although they've continued to beat solid teams. Like they beat the Broncos. I never thought they'd win that game. So I'm going to take the Rams to win, but I will take the Colts to cover 3.5. I think they'll be able to keep the game close because this is just what the Colts do, man. They're the Steelers of the AFC South. They find a way to go over 500 every year. I thought it would be with Richardson, but apparently it's going to be with Daniel Jones. Because you never know what's going to happen in this football league.
The first podcast before week 1, I came on here and I had a 5-minute rant or whatever about how incorrect it was for them to bench AR, how it was coaching malpractice, how Daniel Jones wasn't going to win you any more games than AR could have, so you might as well stick with the rookie or the young guy. I couldn't have been more wrong, I'm sure. I mean, a lot of people had that take, and we couldn't have been more wrong. Daniel Jones looked great. Long story short, though, I mean, Jonathan Taylor has been amazing, probably the best running back in the league right now. But I'm going to take the Rams to win and cover. I think that they're going to come back with a vengeance from last week. Like they blew that game where they really shouldn't have. So I think if they get a lead in this one, they're going to like pedal to the metal. They're going to make sure that they don't let the Colts come back because the Colts have been prone to that this season too. I mean, they came back against the Broncos. They stuck in that one longer than most expected. This certainly won't be a Colts blowout like we've seen 2 out of 3 games this season. I just think the Rams are a better team overall. Their defense has really been playing well. Their Stafford's looked really good. Puka's been amazing. I don't think the Colts have – and Kenny Moore's going to be hurt for a while now. I think that's going to be a big blow for them. And I don't think that they have the secondary to keep up with the Rams. So I'll take them to cover.
With what you said about Daniel Jones, though, it really shows that we just have no clue what's going on inside of any of these locker rooms or like what any of these practices really look like. So he's looked great, and
he didn't even look good in preseason. Like he threw like a brutal interception in the first preseason game, and the rest of it, like he didn't stand out to me at all. So for him to just like immediately get into a groove in week 1 is very surprising. And it hasn't been against the hardest opponents. Dolphins, Titans, very easy. Broncos are like they're supposed to have a good defense, and they have been a good defense. This Colts O-line has been just amazing. It really goes to prove my point even more so that you can give a bad quarterback a good O-line and he can make it work. I still don't think Daniel Jones is amazing, and he's going to get a big payday this offseason if he keeps playing this way, whether it's with the Colts or not. Which, if he's smart, he stays with the Colts, and the Colts probably should stick with him if he plays this way. But if he moves on to somewhere else, somebody's going to pay him, and I don't think he's going to keep up this level of production. That's neither here nor there. That's a next year problem. Chicago Bears, 1.5-point favorites on the road in L.A. Sorry, not L.A. LV, Las Vegas.
Vegas has worried me, man. They have not looked. Their offensive line may be the worst in the entire league. I think it's very, very poorly coached.
It's them or the
Ashton Genty. Like they just like miss assignments, like straight up miss assignments. They don't adjust. I don't know if that's a Geno pre-snap thing. I don't know if that's just like pure incompetence, but like they have one good. Colton Miller is like the only bright spot on this entire O-line. Jackson Powers-Johnson was concussed, and now he's like apparently not even going to be starting anymore. They're going to put him at guard where he's really not that good. So their offensive line is it's a complete shit show. And it's the reason why Genty is like getting called a bust by everybody, which anybody that has watched Genty play, it is not his fault that he is playing as poorly as the stat sheet says at all. Every time he's been able to get in the open field, he's been able to do something positive. So I think the Bears are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a really ugly season for the Raiders if they don't figure out this O-line stuff. I think Jackson Powers-Johnson has to play center. I think that's like where he drafted him to play in the second round. I think he could be one of the best centers in the league. But at guard isn't going to work, and benching him is even worse. So I don't really think, even at home, I think Geno has looked kind of shaky. I think Trey Tucker isn't going to be a reliable source of offense for you all year.
Although he had an amazing game this past week.
He had an amazing game, but
like 180 yards or something crazy. Yeah, he was ridiculous. But I'll take the Bears to win and cover 2. I think that this is going to be another similar week to last week for the Bears, where terrible passing defense, bad rushing defense too. That they're going up against. So this could be another week for Caleb to get into the groove again. And if that's the case, I think this, like having a back-to-back really good weeks, like potentially he could, on top of 2 already good weeks to start the season. That's the kind of thing that like he just like does not even look back. Gets right into the groove of what he was hyped up to be coming out of college. Didn't really show it his rookie season, but new coaching staff and everything now. I'll take I think the Bears could blow the doors off of them. The Raiders really do concern me. Geno hasn't even looked that good. He's had a lot of really bad turnovers this season. And like you said about Genty, like I understand if somebody doesn't watch the Raiders because it's not a fun watch, but Genty has been good. It's just the stats don't show it at all. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a year from now that he actually is good. Like there's not Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Saquon, like none of these guys are surviving. You see with Chase Brown, he had a great year last year, and he's going through the exact same, like basically exact same thing that Genty is, and they're both getting terrible game after terrible game because they have like negative 50 yards before contact.
Yeah, and it's gonna be it's gonna take like a couple seasons probably to get it fully fixed. But there's a lot of things they could do right now that can make them still play better than what they're doing, and it really all comes down to assignments. Like they're literally just letting people run free into the backfield because they don't know what they're doing. Like there's people just straight up missing their blocking assignments, and it's horrible. So I think honestly they're the worst offensive line in the league, and I think Genty playing this bad kind of proves that. So I do think the Bears are going to be able to win this one.
All right. So we agree on that one. Moving on. So this game, Sunday 4:25 game should have been a Monday game because the Monday schedule is awful. But Ravens 2.5-point favorites in Kansas City. This is a great game. I am taking the Ravens to win and cover. I think that this is just a game that they lost to the Bills already. who they're going to be in contention with for the first seed. You can't lose to the Chiefs. I know that they're 1-2, but so are the Ravens. This is a game that really neither team can lose. The Chiefs had a must-win game against the Giants, and this is sort of a must-win game again. 1-3 is very tough to come back from. You're in such a deep rivet, especially with the Chiefs. You're in a division with the Chargers. This is kind of a must-win for both sides, especially for seeding-wise. Like I said, I just think that the Ravens are going to bounce back from that loss. I think the Chiefs didn't really show me too much against the Giants that I feel confident going into a game against the Ravens. I think that their receiving core is still really poor. Tyquan Thornton can't be your best guy, or Hollywood Brown catching 6-yard pass after 6-yard pass. Kelsey isn't showing it to me. Pacheco, the whole running back room hasn't shown it to me at all. It's just Mahomes running for his life, really. If he gets 60 rushing yards, that's a norm for him now, which has never been the case. But yeah, I think the Ravens are just a better overall team than the Chiefs. Even in Kansas City, I still feel decently confident that they take this win.
By the way, when's the last time the Chiefs have played in Baltimore in the regular season? I feel like it's always in Arrowhead.
Yeah, I don't know. Have they ever? It feels like it's always
not since Lamar got there. It feels like
it feels like almost every big game the Chiefs play in Arrowhead, besides the occasional Buffalo game.
Shocking. Interesting.
Yeah. Actually, I'll look it up while you're talking.
I think the Ravens win and cover this game. I think they'll win by 3, which is going to be a disappointment if that ends up being the case, because I think this Ravens team should knock the socks off this Chiefs team with how injured their offense is and how, honestly, the Chiefs have not looked good the first 3 weeks of the season. And that's not to say the Ravens have on both sides of the ball, but the Ravens offensively have looked like arguably the best offense in the entire league and continue to lose games. So if the Ravens lose this week, I'm kind of just going to assume they're going 9-8 and going to miss the playoffs, because maybe they're just cursed. But this is a game they should win, even if it's in Arrowhead. And it's going to probably feel like a playoff game, because this is a really big game for both teams. Dropping to 1-3 this early in the season, especially in the AFC, is not something either of these teams want. So
luckily, the wild card race is honestly a bit thinner than was originally expected. The Bengals are pretty clearly not going to be in that race after Burrow goes down. The Broncos aren't as good as expected. The AFC South has only one winner coming out of that division for sure. And then the East is the same thing. It's just going to be the Bills. So, you're probably, if you're the Chiefs/Chargers, one of you is almost guaranteed to get a wild card. It's much more top heavy than was originally expected. So, that is the bright side here, but you still don't want to go 1-3. As to you saying when was the last time the Chiefs played in Baltimore, it was the AFC Championship game in 2024 where the Chiefs won. Before that was in 2021 in early September, where the Ravens won 36-35.
That game was in Baltimore?
Yeah. And then before that in 2020 in September, the Chiefs won 34-20, but it seems like that's a lot of times in Kansas City. Whatever though. Last year they played in Kansas City too, so that's cool. But it was 5 years ago that they played last in Baltimore. Regardless, you said the Chiefs win, they cover, but the Ravens win.
No, I think the Ravens win by 3. You said it was 2.5, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I think the Ravens win, cover.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited for that one, though. Moving on to the big revenge game for Micah Parsons. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay Packers in Dallas. Packers 6.5-point favorites here. Micah Parsons was asked, how are you going to feel sacking Dak Prescott? And he said he's going to feel sad or hurt about it or something like that. I'm excited to see this game. I mean, obviously Micah Parsons has gone up against his O-line in practice and gone up against Dak in practice. So it's going to be cool to see him, how well he could do in this one. I'll take the Packers to win and cover here, though. They have to bounce back from the Browns game, and I don't see it being against. I don't see Dallas stopping this defense at all. I think Javante's probably gonna have a really bad game. No CD Lamb out there. I think it could get
no CD.
Bad.
Ooh, yeah, I'll take.
Yeah, CD's out for a month.
Oh yeah, I'll take the Packers to cover. That's gonna be a bad game.
Yeah.
That might be Sunday Night Football getting skipped again.
Yeah, even if CD plays, I don't think it's gonna be like that good. And I don't think he will. They're not going to put him on IR, but he had like a bad ankle sprain. It can't be. He's not going to be able to play. I don't really have much to say about that one. The Packers are going to bounce back from the Browns game. All right, doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Jets playing the Dolphins in Miami, 2.5-point favorite for Miami. Their back-to-back primetime game. I love Miami on primetime. This is awesome.
If you have homework, if you have a boss, call them, ask if any shifts are available Monday night. Do your homework. If you have a girlfriend, take her out for a date.
Go
do
plant
not
that garden.
Waste your time.
Go cook your wife a nice dinner.
Yep.
Go do literally anything. Go to the bar
something,
and drink your sorrows away.
Yes, even alcoholism is more productive than what you will be doing watching Monday Night Football next week. This doubleheader is going to suck. The Broncos are going to smack the Bengals, and Dolphins-Jets is going to be like a 7-7 tie. This is going to be one of the nastiest primetime slates of the entire year. I don't know how this got on the primetime slate.
I might go play basketball during this first game because this is bad.
I won't be watching these games. I'll take the Jets, I guess, and I'll take the Broncos to cover.
I will take the Jets to win and cover. Or you know what? I'll take the Dolphins. I think they didn't look completely awful against the Bills, surprisingly. So I'll take the Dolphins to win at home. Whether they cover or not, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I think the Jets have looked solid as well in all their games. They didn't look good week 2, but they looked good against the Steelers. They looked good against the Bucks for the Jets standards. So I won't see if
that was with Tyrod. I'll check it the next morning. That was with Tyrod. To be fair, I don't know if Fields is going to be healthy for the game. I haven't seen the report on him, so I guess that could. If it's Tyrod, I'd take the Dolphins. If it's Fields, I'll still take the Dolphins, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets win. Last game, Bengals, Broncos. Broncos in Denver. Broncos 7.5-point favorites. Broncos win and cover.
Yeah, that's gonna.
Browning looked terrible against the Vikings, and I know it's a little bit worse of a defense than the Vikings that the Broncos have, but I think it's still going to be a similar story. I don't see it here. Their rush defense is so good. Chase Brown's still going to struggle. That O-line is awful for the Bengals. Like Benito, like we were talking about, the rest of the D line is just going to get home relentlessly.
Yeah.
I don't see a way that the Bengals win this game.
The Bengals winning that game would be one of the most surprising things I've seen in the last couple of years in the NFL.
Yeah, I would be more surprised I would be more surprised if they won than how surprised I was that the Colts won against the Broncos.
Oh, easily. The Bengals match up so poorly with them. It's and no Burrow, like you don't even have him to bail you out in that case. So even if they had Burrow, I think I'd take the Broncos to win this game. So
yeah, I don't disagree. All right. Cooling down here. That's the whole week 4 slate. Just general sports here to close out the show. Fred VanVleet to get to the NBA tears his ACL.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a big blow for the Rockets. I think that could. I think it's bigger than people are really giving it like worth.
Oh yeah, easily.
Like I think that could be a drastic injury for this the Rockets team that were going to contend for the 1 seed. Now I don't think they were going to get it, but they were going to be in contention like they were last year.
I
don't see it though. I think that this is going to be bad for them. Reed Shepherd, we haven't seen him play at all in his career. We saw very briefly. We've seen a lot of G League stuff and very little minutes in the NBA. So this is basically his rookie season he's going into as a full-time starter now. Whether they sign Russ or somebody else, we're going to have to see. I hope they make move for a point guard. It's a bleak market right now, though. But
Westbrook and KD, one last ride.
Yeah. What do you have to say about this one? Like about getting hurt?
I think I agree with you about. I think I still agree with you about.
Just give your Fred VanVleet recap.
Okay. I still think VanVleet is going to be a big loss for them. I think he was someone that was very important for them in the playoffs. I think he's someone that was really one of their only sources of offense in some of the games that they played against the Warriors. And I really don't. I'm struggling to see where the playmaking is going to come from with Houston. And like Kevin Durant as your main ball handler, that's nasty in the year of 2025. Amen Thompson as your main ball handler, unless he's taken a drastic leap in the offseason, is going to be nasty in the year of 2025. Şengün, shimmy hooks is going to be their go-to offense, I suppose. So I do agree that they should sign a point guard. I just don't know if Russell Westbrook is the answer. I think Russell Westbrook going to Houston could result in one of the most memeable and ugly teams in the league after what they were expected to be.
Sorry about that.
All right. I think that was a successful Fred VanVleet yap from me.
Okay. I don't know what you said, but yeah, I just think that he's the main 3-point shooter for them. He's the main facilitator, and losing Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, their 3-point shooting is now completely gone. Kevin Durant's an okay shooter, but Amen Thompson has to step up
solid.
big. Yeah, Amen Thompson's gonna have to step up big for them to be still to that tier of contender.
That's essentially what I was saying. Is I don't really see where the playmaking is going to come from, but basically that was the gist.
Aces are going to tie up the series today against the Fever. Mercury tied up against the Lynx last night. That was a pretty surprising win. The Lynx were dominating them for most of that game. Anything? John Mateer, the Oklahoma quarterback, broke his hand, so he's going to be out for a little while now.
Sold my parlay on Saturday.
Yeah. Anything else? I guess Arch Manning started to look pretty solid. Trying to think of anything else. I mean, NBA. I don't think did we ever
baseball.
talk? Yeah, playoff baseball
coming around the corner.
You're not wrong. Did anything happen with what was it? Kawhi Leonard. Did we ever talk about that? The
tree planting incident.
We don't have to get into it now, but I don't know if we ever talked about it. The
last
I saw
is come from that.
Yeah, not officially. The last I saw is that he could potentially, there is legitimate chance that he could get cut from the team, which would be insanity to me.
That would be ridiculous. Blazer.
That would be. Yeah.
No. Laker.
Probably not. I saw somebody saying
I'm wondering how much money he's going to demand.
I mean, if I'm him, I'm demanding a max. He's still. I just feel
player. I just feel like I'm not paying him a max if I'm a team.
I guess maybe not a max, but he's not going to get he's not going to sign for $10 million. He's going to sign for something legitimately substantial.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset. The Lakers will give you $5 million, and you will smile and take it. Rob Pelinka has done it again.
I saw talk about him going to the Pacers. That would make sense to me. The Knicks were hyped up. I don't know about that.
Where's the Knicks money coming
crazy.
From?
Yeah,
where does New York?
I don't know.
Where is that coming from?
The city, the taxes. I guess they get some extra salary.
40% of a 9-to-5 worker's paycheck is going to Kawhi Leonard's salary.
To be fair, when you sign Kawhi Leonard, you don't have to pay him the max contract because you get to
plant trees.
Extra money. Yeah. He's teaming up with Mr. Beast's Team Trees. So every tree planted is another $1 in Kawhi Leonard's bank account. Yeah, so the Knicks are sponsored by Team Trees.
Uh-oh. My co-host is freezing up. What's the protocol for this?
Did he freeze?
Yeah, I think he froze.
Okay.
He said he's joining back right now.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's just me now. Go Mariners. We're losing to the Rockies right now, but 43-win team. That's not great. Magic number is still 3 unless the Astros lose, and I think it's going to be 2. But yeah, playoff baseball. I'm excited. One of the best times of the year. One of the only times I ever actually watched the sport, but it's exciting. It's fun. Let's see. What else is going on in the sports world? I think the Blazers will win the championship this year. You know, Shaden Sharp breakout. He'll average 29 a game. Denny Avdia will average a 25-point triple-double. Donovan Clingan will be the next Rudy Gobert. Robert Williams will have enjoyed the time he spent in Area 51 getting his knees replaced. He will be healthy this season. We will have Scoot Henderson. He's been working out with Curry, so it will be like a mix of Curry and Ja Morant. And then Chris Murray will turn into Keegan Murray. Damian Lillard will take my Achilles, and he will be healthy. He'll be back to averaging 25 points a game. Let's see, who else do we got? Hansen Young, Jokic. He's Jokic. We'll have Young. He'll be Jokic. We'll have Clingan Gobert off the bench. We'll have Robert Williams third string, and then we'll have, best backcourt in the league. We'll have. Oh,
you can hear me? Hello? I don't know why this is not showing correctly. Let me.
You're missing Blazers talk. Talking about how the Blazers are going to win the championship this year.
All right. Well, I don't know why my camera's not showing. But
Almost.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll just show this. I don't really have anything else to say too much.
No,
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why my camera's not on, but that's my bad. I accidentally unplugged my PC there. But we can close off this episode. We'll be back next week to do probably week 4 recap, week 5 preview. NBA is about a month away, so we can talk about that soon. Starting 5 is coming out in a few weeks. The NBA doc following the GOAT Shea. I don't know. That's really all I have to say, though. Until next time, Chase. I'm assuming you don't have anything else, right? You're good.
No. I yapped about the Blazers.
You good. Yeah, I did hear that. That was pretty good.
So
the Blazers aren't winning at all, but whatever. All right, that's gonna be all. 2 hours. That was a good episode. Right on time there. Until next time, see you guys around. Peace out.